Hey friends, I'm Dr. Rachel Paul. I'm so excited to be here with you today. We are going to be talking about 10 things I wish I knew before starting my weight loss journey so you can jumpstart yours. So we're going to be talking about specific foods to eat, we're going to talk about some mindset shifts, and finally we're going to talk about exercise. All right, let's get started on 10 things I wish I knew before starting my weight loss journey. The first thing I wish I knew was to focus on proteins, fats, and veggies. Now, you may look at a big bag of popcorn and may see, oh, that's not really a lot of calories. But the issue is with higher carbohydrate foods is that they don't keep you full for very long. And the benefit of higher fat and higher protein foods, especially when eaten together, yes, this meal might be a little bit higher calorie, but you're going to be full for so much more many hours. So if you need to study, if you need to work, you probably don't want to be thinking about food all the time, right? So it's beneficial to eat foods with proteins, fats, and veggies to keep you full for hours so you can mentally focus on other things. All right, let's talk about tip number 2. The second thing I wish I knew is to keep it simple. I know you may see on Instagram or on Pinterest these meals with 20 ingredients that must have cost hundreds of dollars to make, but you know what? That is not necessary. For example, here I have 2 meals or snacks that are so simple but are gonna keep you full, and then you're able to focus on other things. So for example, this meal I have a bed of greens with blue cheese and a broiled piece of salmon. 3 main ingredients, that's it, and then you can move on with your day. Here I have a breakfast or a snack of 2 hard-boiled eggs and a single serving pack of guacamole. Again, this is super simple, it's gonna keep you full and you're gonna be able to move on with your day. All right, let's talk about tip number 3. The third thing I wish I knew is that single servings are helpful. Now, I know it may seem that buying foods in single servings is more plastic waste. And yes, that is true, but it ends up not being a waste in the long term, because if you bought foods like a single serving pack of guacamole, burger patties, or ice cream in single servings, the food is gonna last that much longer, so you're actually gonna be able to buy less food over the long term. For example, with guacamole, I love this example. If you get a big container of guacamole and open it, it goes brown like the next day in 24 hours, right? Even if you add lemon juice, even if you try to extend the life of that guacamole, it's gonna go brown. But if you buy these single servings, each serving is gonna stay fresh for a number of weeks. Again, so you're able to maximize your budget for the long term. All right, let's talk about tip number 4. The fourth thing I wish I knew is that no food is off limits. Now, when I was in college, a popular diet that we would try to follow for max 4 hours was what was called the General Motors diet. And this was some crazy diet that someone, I think, who worked at General Motors came up with, where on the first day you only ate vegetables, and then the second day you ate fruits and vegetables, and then the third day you ate beef and tomatoes, or something crazy and totally made up. Here's the thing with all crash diets. Maybe they work in the short term, and I emphasize the word maybe because can you really stick with something like that for a full 7 or 10 days? Probably not, right? But even if you're able to stick with something for the short term and you lose a lot of weight quickly, you don't develop any new habits, you don't develop any new skills, and you end up putting that weight back on, right? And likely even more some. That is what the research shows. So what's better to focus on here is that moderation is key. All foods can absolutely fit in a healthy diet, a healthy way of eating. So for example, if you love McDonald's, Zach and I like to go to McDonald's or another fast food chain probably at least once a week. Not kidding, for sure. If you want to fit that into your diet, you absolutely can, right? It is about balance. It is about all things in moderation. All right, let's talk about tip number 5. The fifth thing I wish I knew was to chew when possible. Now you can think about a soda, right? If you get a large soda, does that actually keep you full? No, maybe it keeps you quote unquote full for a few minutes, but you're likely gonna need some actual food to keep you full. right? What's so interesting is the research shows that when we're chewing, we are more full and satisfied versus if we had blended up the same foods and drank them. So you can think about fruit versus a smoothie. If you had some fruit and you blended it up into a smoothie, you are psychologically and physiologically less full on the smoothie than if you had chomped on the pieces of fruits. It's the same amount of food, you are more full. This is likely because you're giving your body the time to digest the food, to eat slowly, to chew, and to allow your body to get full. So it's kind of similar with peanut butter versus nuts. I have cashews here, but you can picture peanuts. I am not saying at all to never eat peanut butter. I like to eat peanut butter a lot of the time, but you typically are more full if you're chewing. So that can be a really helpful tool for your weight loss journey. All right, let's talk about the next tip. Tip number 6 is to eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. Now, when I was going through my weight loss journey, I was really afraid to feel hungry because I made that mean that something was wrong. I wasn't allowed to eat. But that's not true at all. Being hungry, having a little bit of hunger in your body is actually a healthy thing. Do I want you to be starving? No, of course not, but it actually is healthy and helpful for your body to go through its natural hunger and fullness cycle. Now the hunger scale goes from 1 to 10, where 1 is starving and 10 is so super full. I want you to stay in the 3 to 7 range, where 3 is you are a little bit hungry, maybe you're having a little bit of difficulty concentrating, and 7 is you're comfortably full, but you're not stuffed, okay? So if this means leaving some food on your plate, that is okay. Remember, you can always eat again. No food is a bad food, no food is off limits. All right, let's talk about the next tip. The 7th thing I wish I knew is that you don't have to force yourself to eat when you're not hungry. And I'm especially talking about breakfast here. So a lot of people just naturally don't get hungry for breakfast. And if this is you, you don't have to force yourself to eat. I know there was kind of a common misconception that breakfast was the most important meal of the day, but actually that's not true. The research shows that that's not true. And I'm sure that you have heard of so many health benefits of intermittent fasting. Now, do I want you to start doing intermittent fasting if you naturally do get hungry for breakfast? No. Absolutely listen to your body's hunger and fullness cues. But if you naturally don't get hungry in the morning, you don't have to eat. So what I do is I eat whenever I do get hungry, and this is typically between 9 and 11. So if I do get hungry earlier, maybe I'll have a mocha. That's kind of my favorite light breakfast. Or if I get hungry more at 10 or 11, I'll actually have an earlier lunch, like a salad here with the salmon and the blue cheese. All right, let's talk about the next tip. The 8th thing I wish I knew is that I needed to find coping skills to deal with boredom or stress. Now here's the truth. If you're bored or if you're stressed, these are normal human emotions. There are going to be times in your life when you're bored and when you're stressed. This might happen every single day, right? What you do need to realize is that eating during boredom and stressful times is only a temporary solution. It does not solve the problem in the long term. So you do need to find other outlets to deal with those normal human emotions. So journaling, calling a friend, calling your mom, those can be other ways to breathe through your emotions, experience the vibration in your body, and allow that feeling to pass, because the feelings do pass. All right, let's talk about the next tip. The 9th thing I wish I knew was to embrace imperfection. Now, if I were eating on plan back when I was trying to lose weight and something would happen where I would end up eating off plan, like for example, if I was talking with a friend on the phone and I was mindlessly eating pretzels and then I realized, oh my gosh, I just ate a whole lot of pretzels and I got off of my plan, I wasn't eating in a good way anymore, I would basically have a fit, right? But here's the truth. Your eating on a normal day, on a day when you are at your goal weight, is not going to be perfect. There is no perfect eating. So what we have to do in these situations when we do overeat, it's very normal to overeat in everyday life in small amounts. You have to embrace that imperfection as part of your everyday life. So a really good new thought to focus on when you do find that you've overeaten or you've eaten something off plan, you wish you had eaten something else or hadn't eaten something in the past, is to focus on one of these new thoughts. Something like, there is no failure, only learning. Or, I'm human, or I'm learning, I'm always improving, okay? When we focus on these types of new thoughts, we feel so much more calm and in control, and we can take better action when we feel that calm and in control. All right, let's talk about the next tip. The 10th thing I wish I knew is to exercise to feel amazing. Now, when I was in college, what we would do is we would go to the gym and then look at the calorie number it would say on the machines and try to exercise like 500 calories or 600 calories off type of thing. But here is the deal. When you do high intensity exercise, it actually makes you more hungry. And when you focus on calories burned for exercise, you lose the ability to focus on how your body is feeling. So what I'd love for you to do if you're on a weight loss journey is I'd love for you to focus on exercise that's more of the low intensity variety. So walking, bar, yoga, light weights, you're still doing resistance, you're still building muscle, you're still moving your body, feeling great, but you then don't have to deal with that extra hunger that comes with it. All right, friends, those are my 10 top things I wish I knew before I started my weight loss journey. I hope you found them helpful. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to like it, comment, and hit subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you're notified of the next video, and I can't wait to see you next time.